Hey, this is Jeff Henschel, Communications Director with the city, and I've got Mary Garkey. And Mary, what's your title over there at the Parks and Rec?
I'm Marketing Manager of Gallatin Parks and Recreation.
So we're talking about the Miracle Park, and Mary, you've been really involved with that. Just tell me in general what we're looking at.
Well, right now the drone is flying over our playground here at the Miracle Park. And as you notice, we've got sail shade structures, and the big structure that we're flying over right now is our big tower, which is 21 feet high and ADA compliant up to the second level. So the third level is for typical kids to go down.
I think it's cool that, it's marketed, and it certainly is custom tailored to kids of all types with all challenges, but it's really for everybody. It's an inclusive park, and it looks like a lot of fun. I walked there today, obviously flying the drone, and I was really tempted to play there as an adult. So it's just looks amazing. So talk about a little bit about what we're seeing. Obviously some slides.
Yeah, and we've got plenty of shade structures, and as you know, shade is very important in Tennessee. It gets very hot, and a lot of kids who have challenges, both mobility or intellectually, they have to have medication, and sometimes that medication is very light sensitive, and so we want to make sure that those kids have plenty of shade so that they can escape to the shade areas and still have fun at our park.
It looks like there's kind of walkways along there, where it looks like
yes,
perhaps a wheelchair could go along there.
Correct.
The ground is kind of grippy and it's kind of like a cushion.
Yeah, it's a poured in place surfacing, and we've got 3 different colors going on there. We've got the blue, we've got the green, and then we've got an orange. And the orange is actually twofold. It is a pretty color, but it also helps a parent say, hey, meet me at the end of the orange walkway. And so that will snake through our playground, and a parent could tell the child, hey, meet me at the shade structure, just follow the orange pathway around.
That's a good idea, because it's not a small park. I would imagine you throw 100 kids at this thing, and meeting somewhere would be a good thing. I loved looking at the top of this structure, because you kind of get the feel for what it'd actually be like to be in there. And I also like that it's so tall, but you're not going to have a jumper from that top.
Yeah, no, it's plenty of safety grids. As you see those metal grids right there, there's safety. I've crawled up into it, and I'm not a small person, I'm 5'10". So, and if you notice on that tube slide at the top, there's kind of like a skylight, so that the kid does not like kind of freak out at the start of it, and then they get down, the pitch of the slide goes a little bit faster and then kind of curves and shoots out the end. But that cushioning poured in place surface is really nice. It's got an 8-foot fall zone. Okay, so now we're underneath the chill zone, which we call it, and it's a place for kids to escape if they get sensory overload. And we've got our musical instruments there, the rainmaker, the congos, the xylophone, and then of course we've got AstroTurf underneath there, so that's another sensory element. And then we're going to go over to our beautiful panels, the sensory panels. Now each one of these has a different texture on it, so a kid who is sensory oriented, loves their sensory things to feel, those different textures, is going to be just a phenomenal respite from the craziness, the busyness of the rest of the park.
That's cool. As I was flying through there, it felt like a fort kind of feeling. Yeah. Oh, this thing is cool. I did spin it.
Yes, and that's our little kind of merry-go-round.
It's a safe version of what I remember as a kid.
Exactly.
Where it was just all metal,
and you could conk your head, or yeah.
And this is more of
Chippewa.
a traditional playground item.
Jungle gym.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. And then there's like ways to climb it on those spinning orbs that you see there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is like a teeter-totter, rocker swing. Right
Yeah, it's
here.
got the big springs on the side there. That's a little different than ones I've seen before. And it
Yeah.
is nice that there's a lot of shaded areas there.
Yeah, and of course, that's an all-inclusive piece as well. You can slide somebody from a wheelchair onto one of those benches. And then this thing is kind of cool. They can slide through it by pulling themselves on their back through that little chute there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on there. That's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
like that. And then we've got a whole nother section over here, which I'm a swing fan. And this thing,
Yes.
look at all the different types of swings that you have here. That one's unusual.
That's a disc swing. And so they can lay on their belly. It's easy for someone who's in a wheelchair to be transitioned to that or transition themselves. A lot of kids say, I can do it. I can do it myself. So they like to feel independent. And bucket swings. And that's that one on the end was for adults and to face their child swing. So it's a co-swing. And this is our Liberty swing, which came all the way from Australia.
Wow.
And
obviously a wheelchair fits in there.
Yep, and locks in, and the family will get a key to this gated area, and kids with wheelchairs can have their own exclusive area.
I love that. Because, why miss out? If you're in a wheelchair,
Exactly.
you can really have a lot of fun in this.
Here's our toddler area.
Right. And I didn't touch those, but I assume those are hard
Yes.
creatures of some kind.
Yes.
And this is really cool. Tell me about this.
These are our zip lines. And you can bucket swing a child who has a little bit less core strength than a typical child can get into those bucket swings and slide just like a typical kid.
How about that? That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then of course we have the disc ones. If you see further back, the disc ones of the zip line for typical kids.
It's funny, I did the drone fly through, but I really didn't capture everything that's here. We're really
No,
there's
that's
so
just-
much going on with this park.
Yeah.
Now this one I really love, this rope contraption. What is this?
Yes, it is. It is got, I don't even know how many threads of heavy duty core woven rope, and it's called the Viper swing. As you can see, it kind of looks like a snake, and
It does.
and multiple kids can go on there at once.
That is going to be a blast, I imagine. And then finally,
That is the pedal park, and you see them all over Europe, but they're not as popular here in the States yet. But we think that that's going to be a wonderful place for kids to go on tricycles and motorized little cars and wheelchairs. And it's
Very
going to be
cool.
like a little town within a town.
and so this area in the middle will be concessions and bathrooms.
Correct.
And-
And other shade structures as well.
Okay. So this is a big complex. I mean, what a big project.
We have just a tad under 6 acres of ADA compliant recreation. So it's the largest in Sumner County
How about that?
and one of the largest in Middle Tennessee.
Well, I really think I love that it's all inclusive. I love that really anyone and I think parents will enjoy this as well.
Yeah, our goal was play for all, not some. But
Right.
everybody can play together, not separate.
Man, can't wait for this to open up, and the projected open date is when?
Spring 2021 ribbon cutting.
And I imagine you guys are going to have a big to-do to open this thing up, aren't you?
Oh yes, lots of fun.
Well, Mary, thanks for talking. Can't wait to see more on this project as it unfolds.
Thank you.